The birth of our planet. Have you ever wondered how our planet came to exist? Long before oceans, forests, mountains, or even the first living cell, there was nothing that resembled the Earth we know today. There were no blue skies, no birds, no continents, and no life. Instead, our story begins more than 4.6 billion years ago. In a violent corner of the young universe, a massive cloud of gas and dust, left behind by ancient stars, slowly collapsed under the force of gravity. As it spun faster and faster, it formed a blazing young sun at its center. Around it, billions of tiny particles collided, merged, and grew, larger over millions of years. Among these growing worlds was a young planet that would one day become our home. The newborn Earth was nothing like the peaceful blue planet we see from space today. Its surface was an endless ocean of molten rock. Temperatures were so extreme that no water could exist, and no form of life could survive. Gigantic volcanoes erupted constantly, releasing enormous amounts of gases into the atmosphere. Rivers of lava stretched across the landscape, while colossal asteroids and comets repeatedly crashed into the planet, reshaping its surface again and again. Every impact released unimaginable amounts of energy. Mountains rose and disappeared. Vast regions melted back into oceans of fire. For millions of years, Earth remained a world of chaos. Then came one of the most dramatic events in our planet's history. Scientists believe that a Mars-sized object, often called Theia, collided with the young Earth. The impact was so enormous that billions of tons of molten rock were blasted into space. Over time, this debris gathered together under gravity and formed the Moon. The birth of the Moon changed Earth's future forever. It stabilized our planet's rotation, influenced the tides, and helped create conditions that would eventually support life. As millions of years passed, Earth's surface slowly began to cool. The endless seas of lava started to harden, forming the planet's very first crust. Although violent volcanic eruptions continued, a remarkable transformation had begun. This was only the beginning. The world was still dark, hostile, and completely lifeless. Yet hidden within this chaos were the first signs of a future unlike anything the universe had ever seen. In the next chapter of our journey, Earth will cool even further. Rain will fall for millions of years. The first oceans will appear, and the stage will be set for the greatest miracle in planetary history, the beginning of life, the birth of oceans and the first atmosphere. The young Earth had finally begun to cool, but it was still far from the peaceful world we know today. Massive volcanoes continued to erupt across the planet, filling the sky with thick clouds of steam, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other gases. There was still no oxygen to breathe, no blue sky, and no life. As temperatures slowly dropped, something extraordinary happened. The water vapor trapped in the atmosphere began to condense into clouds. Then it started to rain. Not for hours, not for days, but for millions of years. Relentless rainfall poured onto the scorching surface, gradually cooling the planet even further. Water collected in enormous basins, creating Earth's very first oceans. These ancient seas would become the cradle of all future life. Meanwhile, the Earth's interior remained incredibly active. Powerful volcanic eruptions constantly reshaped the landscape, forming the earliest continents. Tectonic plates slowly began to move, colliding and drifting apart, laying the foundation for the continents we recognize today. Deep beneath the oceans, another remarkable process was taking place: hydrothermal vents often called underwater hot. Springs release mineral-rich water from deep inside the earth. These mysterious environments were filled with heat, energy, and essential chemicals. Many scientists believe they may have played a key role in creating the conditions necessary for life to begin. At the same time, comets and asteroids continued to strike the planet. Some scientists believe these impacts delivered additional water and organic molecules, the basic ingredients needed for life to the young Earth. Slowly, the planet was changing. The violent world of fire was becoming a world of water. Although the atmosphere was still toxic and the surface remained dangerous, Earth was no longer just a molten rock drifting through space. It had oceans, forming continents, and an environment that was steadily becoming more stable. Everything was now in place for the greatest transformation in Earth's history. Somewhere within these warm ancient oceans, or perhaps around the mysterious hydrothermal vents deep beneath the sea, the first tiny living organisms were about to appear. Their arrival would change this planet forever. In the next chapter, we will witness one of the greatest mysteries in science, the origin of the very first life on Earth, and how microscopic organisms transformed a lifeless world into a living planet. Life and the rise of oxygen. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth appeared silent and lifeless. Its vast oceans stretched across the planet, while volcanoes continued to shape the landscape. Yet beneath the surface of these ancient waters, something extraordinary was about to happen. Somewhere in the warm oceans, or perhaps around deep-sea hydrothermal vents, the first simple living organisms emerged. These tiny microbes were incredibly small, but their appearance marked the greatest turning point in Earth's history. For the very first time, our planet was alive. These early organisms were simple, single-celled life forms. They had no eyes, no limbs, and no brains. Yet they possessed one remarkable ability: they could survive, reproduce, and slowly evolve. For millions of years, life remained microscopic, but evolution never stopped. Eventually, a new group of organisms appeared that would change the planet forever. These were cyanobacteria, tiny microorganisms capable of photosynthesis using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. They produced something Earth's atmosphere had almost none of. Oxygen. At first, this oxygen reacted with iron dissolved in the oceans, creating vast layers of iron-rich rocks that scientists still discover today. But as millions of years passed, more and more oxygen escaped into the atmosphere. This event, known as the Great Oxygenation Event, transformed Earth forever. For many early organisms, oxygen was poisonous, and countless species disappeared. But for others, it opened the door to a completely new future, with oxygen filling the atmosphere. Earth's protective ozone layer slowly formed, shielding the surface from harmful ultraviolet radiation. For the first time, the planet became far more suitable for complex life. Life responded with astonishing speed. Cells became more advanced. Some joined together to form multicellular organisms. The oceans, once nearly empty, slowly filled with strange and fascinating creatures unlike anything seen before. Tiny soft-bodied animals drifted through the water. Primitive forms crawled across the seafloor. The first ancestors of fish were beginning to evolve. The foundation of Earth's incredible biodiversity had finally been laid. From a planet once covered only by fire and water, Earth was becoming a world filled with life. But an even greater explosion of evolution was still to come. In the dinosaurs and Earth's greatest catastrophe, life on Earth was evolving faster than ever before. Following the Cambrian explosion, An incredible variety of animals filled the oceans. Over millions of years, some creatures ventured onto land, giving rise to amphibians, reptiles, and vast forests that transformed the face of the planet. Then, around 252 million years ago, Earth experienced the most devastating mass extinction in its history, known as the Permian-Triassic extinction. Nearly 90% of marine species and about 70% of land species disappeared. Massive volcanic eruptions, extreme climate change, and collapsing ecosystems nearly erased life from the planet. Yet life endured. From the survivors emerged a new group of animals that would dominate Earth for the next 165 million years. The dinosaurs. They came in every shape and size. Some were no larger than a chicken, while others stretched over 30 meters in length and weighed more than a dozen elephants. They roamed deserts, forests, swamps, and ancient coastlines, becoming the undisputed rulers of the land. Above them, the skies were ruled by giant flying reptiles known as pterosaurs, while the oceans were home to powerful marine predators such as mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. During this time, the supercontinent Pangaea slowly broke apart. The continents drifted toward the positions we recognize today, creating new oceans, mountain ranges, and changing climates across the globe. The first birds evolved from small feathered dinosaurs, and tiny mammals quietly lived in the shadows, waiting for their opportunity. For millions of years, it seemed as though the age of dinosaurs would never end, but space had other plans. Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid estimated to be about 10 kilometers 6 miles wide hurtled toward Earth. It struck near what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula with unimaginable force. The impact released more energy than shockwave raced across the planet. Wildfires spread over entire continents. Towering tsunamis crashed into coastlines. Dust and ash filled the atmosphere, blocking sunlight for months, perhaps even years. Plants began to die. Food chains collapsed, one by one. Nearly 75% of all species on Earth had disappeared. The age of dinosaurs was over, but from the ashes of destruction came a new beginning. The small mammals that had survived would soon inherit the Earth. Humans themselves. That remarkable story begins in the next chapter. Billions of nuclear bombs, a colossal. The mighty dinosaurs vanished. By the end of this catastrophe, setting the stage for the rise of modern animals and, eventually, journey through billions of years. The rise of mammals and the dawn of humanity. The asteroid had changed everything. The mighty dinosaurs were gone, leaving behind a world forever transformed. Forests slowly recovered, the skies cleared, and life once again began to flourish. Among the survivors were small mammals. For millions of years, they had lived in the shadows of the dinosaurs. Now, with the Earth's dominant predators gone, they seized the opportunity to evolve into an astonishing variety of species. Some returned to the oceans and eventually became whales and dolphins. Others took to the skies, evolving into bats. Many remained on land, growing larger, faster, and more intelligent as they adapted to changing environments. Meanwhile, the continents continued their slow journey across the planet. Mountain ranges such as the Himalayas rose as tectonic plates collided, while shifting climates created vast deserts, fertile plains, and dense rainforests. Then came the ice ages. Over the past 2.6 million years, massive glaciers repeatedly expanded across large parts of the Earth. Sea levels rose and fell, ecosystems changed, and countless species struggled to survive. Only the strongest and most adaptable endured. Among them was a remarkable group of primates. In Africa, early human ancestors gradually evolved, learning to walk upright, make simple tools, and work together in small communities. Over hundreds of thousands of years, their intelligence continued to grow. Then, around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, our own species, appeared. Unlike any creature before them, humans possessed advanced language, creativity, and the ability to pass knowledge from one generation to the next. They crossed deserts, climbed mountains, sailed across oceans, and eventually spread to every continent except Antarctica. Around 12,000 years ago, humans made another revolutionary discovery. Instead of constantly hunting and gathering, they began farming. Villages became towns, towns became cities. Civilizations rose along great rivers, such as the Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Indus, and the Yellow River. Science, art, engineering, and culture flourished within just a few thousand years. A tiny moment in Earth's 4.6 billion year history, humanity transformed the planet in ways no other species ever had. We built nations, explored the deepest oceans, reached the highest mountains, and even stepped onto the moon. But this incredible progress also came with a cost: deforestation, pollution, habitat. Climate change began to reshape the natural world. For the first time in Earth's history, a single species had gained the power to influence the future of an entire planet, and that future is the story of our final chapter, Earth, a journey through billions of years, our planet's future, the next chapter of Earth. For more than 4.6 billion years, Earth has survived unimaginable challenges. It has endured violent asteroid impacts, massive volcanic eruptions, global ice ages, shifting continents, and 5 major mass extinctions. Time after time, life found a way to survive, adapt, and begin again. Today, however, Earth faces a different kind of challenge. For the first time in its history, one species has become powerful enough to reshape the planet on a global scale. That species is us. Over the last few centuries, human civilization has advanced at a great pace. We have built towering cities, connected continents through technology, explored the deepest oceans, and even reached the moon. Our achievements are among the greatest in Earth's history, but our progress has also placed enormous pressure on the natural world. Forests continue to disappear. Wildlife habitats are shrinking. Many species are now facing extinction. The oceans are becoming warmer and more polluted, while glaciers and polar ice continue to melt. Across the world, scientists are carefully studying these changes to better understand how Earth's climate is evolving and what they may mean for future generations. Yet, there is also hope. Around the world, millions of people are working to protect forests, restore damaged ecosystems, conserve endangered wildlife, develop cleaner sources of energy, and reduce pollution. Every protected forest, every restored river, every endangered species saved, and every step toward a more sustainable future helps preserve the extraordinary planet we all share. Earth's story has never been one of perfection. It has always been a story of change, from a burning sphere of molten rock to a world filled with oceans, forests, mountains, and millions of living species. Our planet has undergone one of the most remarkable transformations in the known universe. And after billions of years of evolution, one simple truth remains: the story of Earth is not only the story of a planet. It is the story of life itself, a story of destruction and renewal, of survival against impossible odds, of endless change across unimaginable spans of time. And Now for the first time in 4.6 billion years the next chapter of Earth's story is no longer written by nature alone. It is also being shaped by us. The question is not what Earth will become. The question is what kind of future will we choose to create for the only home we have ever known. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through billions of years of Earth's history. And remember every great story has a beginning, but the greatest stories are the ones whose ending has not yet been written.